look what it does. If I can get from the sinoatrial node to close to the atrioventricular valve, I am now close to this huge amount of myocardium here in the middle. Is that right? So if I'm up here, and if I can get to here, we're going to have an area that's going to have my atrioventricular bundle. So it'll almost look like it's up here in the middle. And look what it does. That bundle forks to the left and to the right. Think about it coming straight down through the middle of this mass of myocardium right here. And it branches to the left and to the right.
The bundle of stuff.
These fibers. This bundle branches. Now, as that bundle moves down and it begins to branch up on the left, up on the right, there are going to be, note how they term it, nerve-like processes. So these little projections off of the fibers. And those spread throughout my ventricular myocardium. So from this sinoatrial node to my atrioventricular bundle, moving down, beginning to move up to the left and to the right, they're going to the little processes are going to penetrate into this muscle tissue. All right? The signal that started on the other slide with the sinoatrial node, that signal that got started, look what happens. It passes through cell to cell to cell to cell to cell to cell to cell by way of those gap junctions. It is passing through my ventricular myocardium. Now, that's what happens. As you sit here, right now, and I'm guessing, is everybody's heart beating? Okay? Boom. Boom. Anybody in here ever get this number? Okay, yeah, it feels like it. Okay? Anybody in here ever do that? Or, oh yeah, it feels like it. Every time that is taking place, this is occurring. What do you think?
So that's the feeling that
This is your heartbeat.
So when you do your blood pressure, is that what? How does that sound?
If you don't mind, until the next chapter. Because that's when I'll get to explain it. But in brief, really quick, what you're doing is when you put the cuff on, the cuff stops the blood flow. And then when you release the cuff and the blood flow returns, you're basing what you're doing on the sound of the heartbeat. The turbulence that you've created in the blood flow. But every time your heart beats, this is what it does. Okay, y'all not liking it?
No. Can I?
Yeah.
So like it goes through all those steps, and they're going all through the gap. But they're all traveling through gap junction, right? And then it goes straight back to one. So why did some people take longer than others to get back to one?
In other words, have a longer gap between their
Yeah, I guess like obviously like if you're running, obviously you're gonna be quicker, and if you're relaxed, you're gonna be slower, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That pretty much just has to do with it.
And how well conditioned your heart might be.
Okay.
People who do a lot of quote unquote cardio, okay? Because this is a muscle, just like you would train skeletal muscle, you're training the heart muscle. And believe it or not, people who are very well conditioned, okay, their heartbeat, their respiration rate, blood flow, everything is much lower.
Does that explain why some people can like sort of grow out of a heart murmur?
I'm not going to say that I know the true answer to that, okay, because most of the time if you have a heart murmur, it's going to stay with you. All of us, the majority of us, I shouldn't say all, the majority of us have a heart murmur. It's just not deadly. And you usually feel it in your chest when it happens. You just kind of go, oh, okay. So, here's what happens when your heart beats. It is the job of my sinoatrial node to set the pace, okay, to start the heartbeat. Once the sinoatrial node fires, that's what we call it, okay? Once it fires, it sends off this excitation, okay? But note the direction in which it moves, okay? That excitation, that firing from the SA node, it travels down and across. It moves through both atria, and then it travels downward towards my atrioventricular node. Now, look at how the structure is for these fibers that we're referring to. And remember, they said the conduction system was nerve-like, okay? So my SA node fires. This electricity, this excitement travels to the atria, travels to the AV node. My AV node has these fibers that look like they come to a bundle, all right, at the top of this septum, at the top of this division, I should say, okay? So it looks like I've got a bundle that is existing. So this is termed my atrioventricular bundle. Remember, the fibers from that bundle move downward. So it's showing the fibers traveling down the myocardium. Those fibers that are traveling down that myocardium, they are going to turn at the apex and then begin to travel up the right side and up the left side. And as they travel, they create these little, what looks like all of these little branching and everything that looks like it's branching into all of this muscle, okay? These are my Purkinje fibers. Is everybody with me?
Wait, which one are the fibers? Because the fibers kind of,
Okay,
they
so
branch onto
see
the
how
bundle.
see how once I get to my apex
Uh-huh.
and everything begins to turn and go either up the right side or the left. As they travel and begin to branch off in all these different directions, these are my Purkinje fibers.
And they're connected to the branches, though.
And that's connected to the branches coming off of my bundle. So, if I get an impulse from the sinoatrial node, it's going to send that electrical impulse to the left atria. While it sends it to the left atria, it sends it down to my AV node. My AV node sends it to my bundle of His. Bundle of His sends it down into my Purkinje fibers, and I have now met all of my cells of the myocardium. And because these impulses, which are based on those electrolytes, okay, the movement of the ions, I have now generated the excitement into each of those cardiac cells, and they react. And that makes it look like the heart moves in one motion, when in actuality, it's every cell acting individually, but because the gap junctions are so efficient, we are moving this potential that quickly. Then the heart will relax, and we start the process all over again. Is that cool?
In a patient who has an irregular heartbeat, I'm trying to figure out if that's an issue with the sinoatrial node, or if that typically a patient who has an irregular heartbeat is going to be either overweight or have poor diet and exercise habits. So which one causes the other, I guess? Because not every obese or overweight patient has an irregular heartbeat.
When we talk about an irregular heartbeat, most likely there is going to be something that could be affecting this node or this node. Okay? And that means that the movement of those cells is no longer in conjunction with each other. So somewhere is just a skipped beat, so to speak. Okay? Now, if you're obese, all right, like you said, not every person who is obese is going to have this, and not every person who has that is going to be obese. All right? It is coming down to what is that electrical potential. Sometimes it could be something as simple as lacking one of the electrolytes in your diet. All right? It could be something as simple as, oh, well, maybe I need to take a potassium supplement or a calcium supplement, something like that. Or maybe I need to decrease it out of my diet. Okay, so it could be something as simple as that. It could be as serious to the point that they're going to have the pacemaker put in. Yeah. So, for the most part, it will be something that misfires with the nose.